Right, public question time. Now, James Campbell is asked to speak. You've got 3 minutes, sir.
Lovely, thank you. Good evening, councillors. Over the past several months, I've done nothing but try to help Bray Parish Council and residents, whether it be providing them support with the Lodge Farm, Hollywood Studios, or seek a quote to support Ken's proposal to protect Hollywood Lodge. So it won't surprise you to hear that I am upset with the treatment I am now receiving from the council. I complied with requests from councillors Elvin and Walters to help with a couple of recent matters, and in return received unsolicited threats of legal action from the club. It made no sense whatsoever, and why Ken was very quick to provide a verbal apology when meeting together with Leo at his home. Ken said he would address her behaviour and ask her to think before sending emails like that to me, but nothing has changed. Item 35 of this evening's agenda states you are to consider approving a revised complaints policy and introduce a new vexatious policy. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but it would appear to many that changing the complaints policy is an attempt to silence those councillors becoming wise to the unsavoury culture growing within the council, as just demonstrated, whilst the other is to silence me. There can be no other reason. And vexatious, I have merely asked a couple of unprovocative questions for which Councillor Cross undertook to provide a thorough response to. They were her words in April's meeting, she shared, but without consulting you, and contrary to the published minutes, Ken subsequently determined that he would simply forward me a copy of your complaints policy instead. And why? Because he doesn't know the answers to the questions, or because he's worried about what it might reveal if he does. Contrary to the advice put forward by the clerk in May regarding our grant application, the legal advice we sought mirrors that of Councillor Wilson's on the night, in that it's perfectly okay for councillors to show support of the subject before voting in favour of it 6 months later. It's that simple, but that aside, residents should not be penalised because it is alleged individual councillors have failed to follow internal procedures, rather than going rogue and looking for ways to obstruct their wishes to support the community. The clerk should be looking forward in a positive way and working with you. Many of you are unaware that the clerk randomly emailed an unrelated local community group writing, "I would like to speak to you regarding Mr. Campion's behaviour at last night's council meeting, behaviour which caused the meeting to be prematurely closed. I cannot express how much damage this act of bullying has caused." The recording of the meeting proves her email to be libelous, and the telephone conversation that followed was slanderous. How many people have read the lies published in the draft minutes? How many other random organisations has she had these conversations with? Fifield Fund Day, Thames Hospice, both of whom I am connected with, and it's horrible. Despite threats of legal action, I am still regularly asked by many of you to join the council, but it is such a toxic environment, as just demonstrated. Each time we have contact, it leaves me in a state of distress. Our family life has become heavily impacted, with my wife pleading with me to cut ties with you. Of course, I ask that you approve our grant application, but if nothing else, you must address the bullying culture within the council.
That's your 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on.